today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
Welcome to episode 93 of Shop Talk. It's Jennifer,
And Carrie.
and we unintentionally took another hiatus, and there was a lot of news that was shared during the hiatus, including the strike is now over. So, we're pretty much past the holiday season. We're ready to ramp back up on the rookie content. I mean, they've started filming, and we're just getting all of the content, including spoilers. So, it's time to get back into Shop Talk and the rookie and our chaos. And we're starting with a pod episode all about Tamara Collins, just kind of like highlighting her time in the rookie. So we'll start
Mhm.
off with the news though. Like I said, some of it's old, but there was a lot that just kind of happened. So yeah. Do you want to take us through the first couple?
I mean, obviously, as Jennifer said, the strike's over. And sadly, the day after the strike was announced that it was over, the Rookie Feds was canceled.
That's so
So we're
sad.
gonna we're gonna miss them, but we're soldiering on with the rookie, so that's always
Yeah.
like exciting,
Yeah.
because they're doing really well. So
There were a lot of like show cancellations after the strike, which I
mhm.
found surprising, but I'm also like, well, I mean, it's the shows that like just couldn't hang on, I guess, but still
Yeah.
sad.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. It's just weird after we watched the Rookie Feds and covered them, like we're just not gonna cover them anymore. Like it's just
Yeah.
sad. But
Mhm.
and then we saw photos and stuff from the Rookies 100th episode celebration. Which everyone kind of spoiled the cliffhanger. So that was great, including the rookie account like weeks later, like they posted about it. So that was fun. Hey, you know what? I won't blame them because then we just don't have to worry about it. So, but there were press and media outlets there, so I'm sure we'll get interviews like closer to when the episode airs. And it seems like everyone was there. Like RJ was there, who plays James. Angel Parker, who plays Luna, was there. Like it wasn't just the main cast and crew. Like it was also um guest stars and stuff, which I'm sure it's because they're in the episode. So that's probably why they were there, but it was still nice to see them. So um yeah, and I mean I'm sure everyone's seen the spoiler, but True is there. But that does not mean that he still is in the episodes. Well, it does for 602 because Eric posted that. So
I mean, I don't know. I won't like believe anything until like
yeah,
it,
until you see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hoping for the best, but
Yeah.
you never know because there's a lot of characters that we've lost on that show
Yeah.
um already. So,
Yeah. But do you want to take us through the next two?
yeah. So, Lisette Chavez, who plays Selena Juarez, was up to a series regular for season 6. So that's exciting.
Yay!
Um, yeah. So more Selena.
Love her.
And yeah, we're just like super thrilled about that.
Yes.
Um, and Dylan Conrick, Tamara Collins, came out with a new song called Never Change. I mean, it was like it released on December 1st, but like Jennifer said, we've got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah.
So, but it's really good. And you should check it out if you haven't already. Because
Yeah.
she's like been releasing music videos for like all of her stuff now. So that's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
And then a little bit of sad news. On December 24th, Camar de los Reyes passed away from cancer, who played Sergeant Carradine. So that was really sad. Um, I had seen the news like that a friend had sent me, and I was like, he looks familiar, but I couldn't place him until I went in and read the article. But he was in a couple of the episodes that we're gonna cover tonight, and it was sad to like watch him and know that he's
Mhm.
no longer with us. So we're thinking of his family at this time. And then Eric and Roslyn are releasing new episodes of their podcast. He said Ayadiho. So be sure to check that out. Well, I guess they've stopped now because of the holidays. Like they're done for the year. But their latest episode was hilarious. I listened to it today and I was just like, these two are so funny. Um, I mean, the gist is Erica's pretty much not a good driver. And then
No.
they also talked about their holiday party,
Yes.
and they were like, true Valentino can sing, he can dance, he can act, like, and then they were like, we got to get him on the podcast. He's a fun guy. So,
Yeah, that
yeah,
would totally be fun.
yeah. But it was cool to like see him and Liseth both there
Hmm.
at their holiday party. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And then we just thought we would do a little TV catch up since it's been a while. We're watching other things when we're not busy with life stuff. What are you watching or what have you watched?
Um, I mean, I got to watch the Monk movie earlier this month. That was exciting. Because I was like waiting forever for it to come out on Peacock. I literally bought Peacock just so I could watch it. I kid you not. Um,
Was it very like similar to the show or did they
um,
like change
I
it a
mean,
lot?
yeah, it was similar. It was definitely like unexpected in terms of like the themes that they dealt with, but I mean the like core of it was still the same. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they sounded the exact same. Obviously it's been a while, so they,
Yeah.
actors age, but like I mean they sounded the exact same. Like you didn't even have to really like look at this. It was just so it was funny because like I
That's
kind of thought
crazy.
that they would like their like voices would change or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yes, that was fun. I'm also rewatching the series, so
Nice.
yeah. How about you?
I've just been watching old stuff. I have Station 19 that I have to watch.
Mm.
And then I need to catch up on Good Trouble because that show was canceled, but
I heard that.
they just released the trailer coming out
Oh,
like for the new season coming out January 2nd, and it looks really good. And I'm so behind on that. So I need to watch that and Station 19. But I mean, really, I've just been watching like old sitcoms and stuff that like don't take much to pay attention to. And one of them was Baby Daddy, the old ABC show with Melissa Peterman and Jean-Luc Bilodeau. So it was
mm-hmm.
fun. And then I always watch episodes of Friends. So yeah, that's kind of my vice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, with that, we'll just kind of jump into this week's episode. So, like we said, it's just kind of like a highlight reel of tomorrow's time on the show. We picked 6 episodes to cover. 302 when we first meet her, 402 when she moves in with Lucy, 405, the Halloween episode where with her and Lucy, 411 where her friend passes away, and then 422 with her in her car and walking in on Chenford's kiss, and then 514 wondering if she needs to move out of Lucy's but doesn't. So, um, yeah, so we'll just go ahead and start off with 302. So, this is like when we first meet her, and we start off with Lucy's car was unlocked and stolen. And I loved how Gray was, or someone was like, well, was it locked? And Lucy's like, yeah, that's kind of a problem because it doesn't lock right. Um, but when taking care of a call, Lucy gets a lead on her car. They pull up to it and find Tamara. Lucy just like because Tamara has the hood on, so Lucy just like handcuffs her, arrests her, and then she turns her around and she's kind of like taken back when she sees Tamara. And Tamara's like, no, like I borrowed it. The guy that just didn't have his keys, he lost them. And Lucy's like, I'm the guy who owns this car.
Yeah.
And Tamara's like, well, it doesn't lock, like, and I fixed it. And Lucy's like, wait, how? Um, but then Lucy like looks in the windows to see Tamara's belongings there, and again she's taken back and she's like, are you living in there? And Tamara's like, yeah, like, so what? I'm 17. Um, and so then Tim is like back there just listening to all this, and he's like, where are your parents? Like it's very like father figure like, I guess, is the best way that I can describe it. And she looks at Lucy. She's like just keeping eye contact with Lucy the entire time, and she's like, they're dead. And but she just like her expression changes. Like Dylan plays Tamara like so well even from this very first time when we met her, like she brought all of the emotion, just all of like the expressions and everything to her. So, but yeah, so she's just like a sad puppy dog. I mean, obviously, like she should be. Um, so Tim searches the car. He's like, "Is there anything pointy in here, or any needles or anything that'll get me?" And Tamara is angsty with them, not really accepting Lucy's pity. Tim drops the teddy bear of hers on the ground. She gets upset. And Lucy's like, "I'm not gonna press charges. Like, we're gonna get you set up at a children's shelter." And Tamara's like, "No, I have a place to go." Lucy's like, does it have doors that lock, like people that care about you? And Tamara's like, well, do the shelters? Like, no, nowhere does. And so Tamara's like, the shelter's far from school, like, it'll be hard to get to and from. And Tim's like surprised about that. And I thought that was kind of just like, I don't know, just like rude in a way. Like obviously, if someone's like from his background, he could see why she probably wouldn't be in school, but it's also like she seems like she has a good head on her shoulders from the time that we meet her. It's just she's like down on her luck. So, um Tamara like snaps back and she's like, "Yeah, and I get good grades too. Like, what about it?" She's over their BS though, but Lucy doesn't have a choice. She's like, it's either shelter or jail, but I'm not just gonna leave you. So Tamara then like gangs up on Lucy in a way, and she's like, she goes over to Tim and she's like, "Is she for real? Like, she's really gonna just keep at this?" Tim pulls Lucy aside. He, tells her about the puppy thing. And he's like, surprised it took you this long. But Lucy's like, no, it'll be fine. We find out the next morning that Tamara left the shelter in the middle of the night, and now Lucy's gonna try to find her, which doesn't prove to be that hard. But before that, she finds out more about her past, which I forgot all about this. Like, I forgot that we found out that her parents overdosed and she was taken in by relatives. But there was violence in the house, so she split. So Lucy's like waiting by the car as Tamara walks up, and Tamara questions how Lucy found her. And in my mind, like watching this again, I was like, she's a cop. Like, she could easily track you down. Um, but Lucy's just like, yeah, I called the high schools, like found out that you hang out at the library until they close. And Tamara kind of sasses back and she's like, yeah, I'll go back to the shelter, but I'm not gonna say. Like, so it's just a waste of time. Um, Lucy knows what will happen, but Tamara's just like, there's like this is it. And Lucy knows Tamara doesn't believe that. Otherwise, she would have given up at this point. But like she's still in school. She obviously wants to better herself. So Lucy's like, here, I'm gonna give you my car, but you have to stay in contact with me and we have to find you a place to stay. So Tamara knows that there's a catch show and all of that, but it was just a nice moment and it was a good introduction to Tamara to like meet her like that and really see Lucy like kind of take on a life outside of the district, outside of any like relationships, that she would have had. So
Mhm.
it's nice to see. And it was nice to see like again the dynamic between Lucy and someone who is not someone that she works with. Like we don't
Mhm.
see Lucy with her family, so it was kind of nice to see Lucy like caring for someone who isn't family but turns kind of into family in the end.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, definitely. And then next up, is 402. So it like starts off Tamara, Lucy, and John, of course, because he does the contracting, are at Lucy's apartment. They're going through like paint chips and swatches for Tamara's new room, which is Jackson's old room. And Tamara picked out the ones that she likes, although Lucy's kind of going around and like wants to make sure that everything's perfect. Um, and so like in the midst of fixing up her room, Tamara and Lucy, they do talk about Jackson, and like Tamara feels like any change she makes, she's erasing him from the apartment. Um, but Lucy, tells her that, she knows Jackson would be happy that, Tamara's living with her and would totally, you know, make fun of them for all that's gone on. Like they're, stressing out over paint colors for crying out loud. And trying to, like rearrange everything and make sure that it's quote unquote perfect. Um, and so towards the end of the episode, Tamara's been hard at work redecorating her room, like so just how she likes it, and decides to show Lucy and surprise her. And it's very like unique to Tamara's style and like where she is in that time. Um, and I forgot that Lucy had said at the end, she's like, she doesn't like it. She loves it. But I was like, oh shoot, does she really not like it? Because there was that pause and I was like, oh wait, no. Yeah. So and it's just like cool to see like because Tamara was like so proud of
Yeah.
herself for fixing it up like all by herself and just,
Mhm.
like she was like just happy. So it was like a good um moment for her and like she's really, like that's her space.
I
So
am curious. Remember that episode that like Lucy pulled Tamara out of the house where like it was her uncle, like they were abusing each other or something, not Tamara, but like it was a scary situation. And Lucy was like, we'll find you a new place. From that point to this episode, where was Tamara? Like, where did she stay? I feel like that's a plot hole that wasn't addressed unless I just missed it.
I don't know. I suppose we could have I'd forgotten about that episode. I don't know.
I don't think it was like a huge moment, but I feel like it was definitely like it was something that they didn't even address like in this episode. Like I feel like
Yeah.
they could have put in a line where it was just like Tamara just saying, "Hey, like thanks for, you know, getting me out of my previous situation or something."
Yeah, I don't
Plus
know.
like I mean, we kind of know how old she is, right? Because like we know that she's in college now, but I mean, she came in season 3 and she was what, 17? So you got to think going into season 6 that she'll be like 20. So,
Yeah. I mean that makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah, she's in college.
Yeah. Which is so crazy to think that like she's been around for 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And like like we were saying before we started recording, like True's been around for 2.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason I thought that he came in like season 5, but
Mm-hmm.
watching season 4 I was like, "Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
or season 4." Yeah, watching season 4 I'm like, "Oh, he's here." So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But next we have 405, which was an iconic Halloween episode. And we start off with Lucy's making the smoothie, Tamara's like cutting up some fruit. They're looking for blueberries, and Tamara's like, they're not here, and I did not eat them. So Lucy kind of like goes all mom chun, which I feel like is the first time that that nickname kind of came about for her. Um, and she's like, "Well, when you finish something, can you just put it on the list?" Um, and Lucy's like asking Tamara if she picked out a Halloween costume for the parade, and Tamara's like, "No offense, but the ones that you sent sucked." So, um, which I love that like they can be sassy with each other,
Yeah.
and it like no one gets offended or anything. So, um, but Margaret from apartment 604 is at the door. She seems nervous. They walk down the hall to like see some ghost hunters and a disgruntled neighbor. Um, and then like later in the episode, Angela tells Tamara and Lucy about the history of the building, how it's potentially haunted. Um, and Lucy like, I don't know, I feel like that they did like introduce it or like kind of segue into it nicely, but it still just kind of like felt a little odd. But Angela or Lucy tells Angela about her mom and her week and you know the egg freezing and stuff, and Tamara laughs and Lucy says something about like she kind of calls her Miss I just went through puberty, which was funny. um and Tamara's like, what about adoption? Like, there's a lot of kids who need homes. And Lucy just like seems intrigued and she's just kind of looking at Tamara with like a different lens. Like, yeah, she's aware of the world, the things going on in the world. And so Lucy and Tamara are then getting ready for the Halloween party. And Lucy thanks her for coming along. They're dressed as Bonnie and Clyde. And Tamara's like, I promised myself I would try new things, but these costumes are kind of crap, like basically. And so then makeup falls into the sink, goes behind the mirror, and Lucy's like, what's behind us? So they take it off. They Lucy's like, stay there, like stay here in the apartment. Well, obviously tomorrow's not going to, so she's going with her. They start walking behind the wall, um, and they see things like a bed, blueberry container, and then Margaret's necklace and envelopes addressed to her. So they hear a loud thud, move along to check it out. Um, and then like all the peepholes, and then the stalkers in the laundry room waiting for Margaret, and then Lucy like goes to save her. Tomorrow's like behind the wall, like cheering and everything. Um, and then like the next morning, Tamara walks into the kitchen, and her and Lucy talk about like what happened the previous night. Lucy assures her that if she's not feeling safe, they can find somewhere else to stay. And Tamara's like, I've slept at a lot of other weird and creepy places, like, but I've never had a badass superhero protecting me. So I'm okay and I feel safe there. Um, which I feel like is just another step in their growth. Like they've moved from just friends to like caring for each other. Like Lucy cares for Tamara, Tamara then reciprocates that and cares for Lucy. Like she's not gonna let Lucy go in alone. And Lucy's gonna make sure that Tamara feels safe with everything that they do. So it was just nice to kind of see, which I feel like that storyline, like uh, growing the Lucy and Tamara dynamic and then also the egg freezing kind of went hand in hand because it showed Lucy that like she can kind of be that, like motherly figure she is to Tamara, but like, she could at some point in the future. Um, and so then that's kind of where Angela's talking about the joys of motherhood, like, because she stopped by to tell them that everything was fine. And Lucy just like makes a mention of making an appointment to learn more about the egg freezing. And then Tamara like jokes and she's like, I can't wait to have kids or something. And then she's like, but not for another year. Like it's a joke. And I love how Tamara jokes and like they get it, but yet they're kind of like they're gullible with it, At least
Mhm.
Lucy is. So but yeah, so that's 405.
Yeah. That was always fun to like take it. I mean, I knew it was the Halloween episode, but it was just
Hmm.
like I had forgotten about like who they were for their costumes and stuff. So it
Yeah.
was like um fun to see.
It
So
was fun to like go back and watch these episodes. Like I remember the whole like stripper comment from Tim, but it was just like funny to watch it all happen again.
mhm.
Like Nyla's smile, literally Makia's smile lights up a room. But
Oh
then
yeah,
like
for sure.
seeing Nolan and Lucy's reactions, like it was just funny. Um, it was funny to just like relive all of that, and it felt
Mhm.
good. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for 411, we have, well, it starts with Tamara and Lucy are just talking in the apartment, and Tamara had said it's not long ago that she was like Tyler, the kid that Lucy was defending earlier from the station, and that, the smartest thing she ever did was steal Lucy's car, because it got her there to Lucy's apartment to stay with her. Um, and then a little bit later on, Tim and Lucy's like newest case hits home because Angela shows them a photo and the victim was a friend of Tamara's. So Tim and Lucy go back to Lucy's apartment to talk to Tamara about what had happened. And Lucy tells Tamara that her friend Becca was found. Tamara doesn't believe her and even goes to try and call her. But Lucy mentions the photo on her phone, and you immediately see Tamara start to tear up. And Tamara said that Becca never mentioned being scared of anyone, but they hadn't talked in a few months because Tamara got busy with school and moving in and everything. And Tim asked her if Becca was staying anywhere. But Tamara says that she was probably living on the street, that, I mean, there was a shelter that had room sometimes, or they would be able to sleep on the floor of a couple kids like that had like family homes. or in a last ditch, act of desperation, you could do swiping, where you hook up with someone from Flip Talk. And Tamara said, at the end of it all, if you get a shower and meal afterwards, then you're lucky. But she thinks that she can guess what Becca's password is for her account, which helps Tim and Lucy get like a log of all of Becca's account activity. And while they're kind of sifting through that, Lucy wonders if Tamara used swiping before, just because of how she talked about it earlier. Like before they met, and she eventually moved in with her. Because there's a lot that she won't talk about with her, but Tim says not to take it personally. Maybe Tamara just has a difficult time right now opening up to Lucy. And then later on, we see Tamara meeting up with Declan, one of her other friends. And he tells her that Becca talked about her all the time, and, they were all wondering what she was up to, and Tamara kind of feels bad about not staying in touch more. And as soon as Chenford rolls up in the shop, Declan gets nervous, but Tamara's like, no, they're cool. And it, like, I had forgotten about this scene too, how they did the, like, what's it called, like voiceover, kind of like it switches back, from Tim and Lucy driving to get there, to Tamara, to because they eventually do figure out that Declan's the one responsible, and he's beginning to recount and confess to Tamara, who is sitting there horrified that he killed their friend. But thankfully, Chenford pulls up and they, take Declan into custody, and Lucy goes to comfort Tamara, and it's where we get the hug moment. So that was good. But yeah, Dylan like does dramatic very well. Like the show, like I don't know, like the show suits her. Like she's doing really well.
She does really well with the comedy and drama.
Yeah.
Like she could easily be in like a rom-com or like a kind of like a teen drama, or even just like a young adult drama and like nail it. Like she would kill it. So
yeah, for sure. And so later on in the episode, Lucy talks to Tamara, and Tamara, tells her thank you for everything, and that if it weren't for Lucy, she would have probably ended up like Becca. And Lucy says she doesn't have to worry about that anymore because she's safe there, and she doesn't have to talk about her time on the street, because Tamara was kind of hesitant and was like, not, I don't, she didn't really want to talk about it right then, but it might be helpful for her to talk to someone at some point. So it's kind of, they both can kind of agree on that. And so that's where we leave that.
Yeah. I just, like, we've already seen Dylan on set, right? For The Rookie. I feel like we have, but I could be mistaking that.
Oh gosh. I know she's posted about it, like posted about the show, and like,
but like
been
not necessarily
excited.
like a behind the scenes.
Yeah, not necessarily. At
Yeah.
least I don't think. I think she's just been on like TikTok or IG Live or something.
I'm
like,
sure that like
in
we'll
regards
see
to the
more
show.
of her, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of need it to be like more episodes this season. But then again, like we're also getting a shortened season, so yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, who knows? But I would love to like see her interacting with different people too. Like different characters. Even if Lucy is there, like she's interacting with like Nyla too, and like Lucy's there, or
Yeah. And
Lucy's
we got
kind of
some of
like
that in like season 3, I guess, right? Yeah. So it's been a little bit.
Yeah. But like
Um,
even if Lucy's there like as the middleman kind of, or like the intro, like, Tamara interacting with Selena would be amazing. Because
yes.
I could just see Selena like going all like, into her
Oh, she would want
sage
to
and all
read. She would
that.
want to read tomorrow's aura,
Yeah.
like how like just
Yeah.
do all the things.
And Tamara would probably have like some kind of snark about that. Like, we're really doing this right now. Like,
Or honestly though, she might have seen also something on Clip Talk that was like,
true, yeah.
some like new trend or something else where
Yeah.
she would like be able to show Selena. So
Yeah.
it could go either way. I could see
Yeah.
it going either way.
Yeah. But also like we need to see Aaron if he lives and tomorrow like, talking and stuff because that would be cool.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so and then we have 422, which it literally felt like we just watched this.
I know
Like
it really did.
I don't
It
know
really did.
why. Because we've had like 6 months of no shows, like six
Yeah.
plus months of no shows, and
Mhm.
it's season 4. But
Yeah.
it felt like this was so new still.
Mhm.
I don't know. It was just kind of odd. Like I don't know. I felt like I was like back in the time warp of like actually watching this live.
Mhm.
Um,
No, same.
but maybe because 422 is just such a big episode. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
probably just because it's so iconic.
it was amazing. But yeah, so Chenford's like waiting for tomorrow before they're supposed to go on patrol, and Tim's all grumpy about it. And it's literally just giving parents waiting for their child who's coming in like after curfew.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
that's what it's giving.
Hmm.
Um,
And she was just like
and
rocking out in the car. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
like Dylan was like singing her
yeah,
own song, but like
yeah,
still, I was like, oh, she's so, like that's such like a carefree
yeah,
like moment
yeah.
for her.
Well, and then the way that she like pulls up too, like it was amazing. She's like swerving people in the parking lot. Like she gets out, she's like, "What's up? Like I'm here."
Yeah.
And yeah, it was so funny. And then Tim and Tamara like exchange sarcastic like quote unquote jokes, and they're like their dynamic has really shifted too. Like
Mhm.
I don't think as much because they're still kind of like snarky and sassy with each other, but
Yeah.
like it's different. Like they're not strangers, for lack of a
Mhm.
better word, like with each other. Like they know each other well. They've probably been in each other's orbit, like, and we just haven't seen it before. Um, so she's like all proud of her, quote unquote new car to her. And she's like, yeah, it's my first car. And Lucy's like, no, my car was your first car. And Tamara's like, well, if we're counting stolen cars, then this is like my fifth.
Yeah.
And so then like a drug sniffing dog comes by with an officer and stops at Tamara's car. We see like that there's 4 kilos of black tar heroin hidden in the trunk, and Tamara, like before the cold open ends, she's just like, I'm not getting my car back, am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then like Lucy looks up like the previous owner of the car, and it's Jake Butler, aka Dim. And Tamara's reaction is hilarious. I literally forgot that she had this reaction.
Yeah.
She was like, "What the what?"
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so then like Chenford later on is figuring out their undercover story. We all know what happens with that.
Yeah.
I literally watched it like 3 times over because I was like, is this brand new or like have I already seen it a bajillion times?" Um, but yeah, so they're talking about what they might have to do. It's all kinds of awkward. They're then in the middle of a passionate kiss when Tamara walks in, and she's like, I can go, like, I don't have to stay. And Lucy's like, no, you should stay because this is work related. And Tim's like, I'm actually gonna go.
Yeah.
So Tamara like knows what's going on. She has to have like caught on to the tension and the atmosphere around her, like when they're around. But her and Lucy like go to their respective rooms and don't talk about it really anymore. Um, until like 5:01.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's kind of it. But like, I don't know. Lucy and Tamara. They're like friends that meet like sisters, like a big and little sister. I don't know. It's interesting, but it was just funny how she was like, I can go. Like I don't have to say, like, but yeah, I don't know. The whole like dynamic between Lucy and Tamara is really great. And then like when you add Tim in there,
Mhm.
it's just kind of different. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we're jumping into season 5. Um, and in this one, Tamara calls Lucy. She's paired up with Aaron for the day. And Tamara's calling because things at her babysitting job are turning out to be very weird. Because the kid she babysits woke up to find both of his parents were gone and they're not answering their phones. And so when Lucy and Aaron arrive, Tamara tells them that she used her key to get in and everything seemed fine when she first got there. And she's been working for the family for 6 months. The dad works a lot and the mom's around a bit more. Um, but they're all like they're trying to kind of figure things out when the when the dad does return home and is confused to find Lucy and Aaron there. But Tamara kind of explains things, and he apologizes for not being there. He thought he could take his wife to the airport to deal with a family emergency and be back home before his son woke up, but obviously that wasn't the case. Tamara offers to take their son Cosmo to school, and Cosmo's dad asks if she can stay for the day, and she agrees. And with his wife Sonia's still missing, he's actually brought in for questioning by Angela. So Cosmo and Tamara are waiting at the station, and we have a nice moment where Tamara tells him if he ever needs anything, like he can call her. And since Sonia was apparently kidnapped for ransom, according to the husband, Lucy ends up asking Tamara if she thinks that he would hurt Sonia, and Tamara doesn't think so. She'd only heard them argue maybe like once or twice. And so they like there's a pause in the case, and later when Lucy and Tamara are eating dinner, Tamara tells her that she's been working on another job to get money for a like place to live on her own because she can't stay with Lucy forever, like now with Tim in the picture. But before, like, she tells Lucy this before Lucy can really add anything else. We have Tim drops by and asks if she's ready for the movie, and Tamara just kind of gets up and is like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed, like, not really wanting to talk anymore. The next morning, Tamara asks Lucy for an update on Sonia. And then she gets a call from Cosmo, so she's got to go. But Lucy reassures her that she'll be, parked outside, like of the house if they were to need anything. And Tamara and Cosmo are playing video games when she hears something. And she hones in on her detective skills. Eavesdrops on the dad's phone call. He comes out and she confronts him about it, and it turns out that he's the one that he set all this up for money. So obviously he's taken into custody, and they're dealing with all that. So obviously Tamara's got to look for a new babysitting job. She also talks to Lucy about the whole moving out scenario because she doesn't want to be an extra thing to deal with when Lucy has this new relationship with Tim. But Lucy tells her that she always has a home here. And Tamara was like, well, maybe I will move out, but maybe when you guys start having kids. So that was funny. And then she interrupted the one kiss in 422, and we have her interrupting the other one where Tim wakes up for like the metro training that one morning. So we have that little moment. Yeah. So
I just love how like Chenford and Tamara have become kind of like a found family unit, I guess you could say. So
oh yeah, definitely.
yeah. Also like that Cosmo kid was like 6 or 7, like, and they're leaving him alone. That's just odd. I guess like if he's asleep, but it's still just weird. I don't know. And like it wasn't really addressed that he was home alone. It was, but like not very much. So yeah. But yeah, that's kind of it. I just remembered, how did we not cover in the news that Eric Winter is now on TikTok?
Oh my God.
Like, that's the biggest piece of
Oh
news. Are
shoot.
you kidding me?
Yeah, oh my goodness. Right. Yes,
That
he
guy
is.
like dragged Rosalind for being on TikTok. He was like, TikTok is so stupid. Like, I would never be on it. And now he's on it.
Yeah, but then Rosalind did
Hilarious.
the Lord's work and got her
Yeah.
husband on TikTok. So thank you, Rosalind.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, because Spoiler King is now on another platform and is giving us content. So,
So funny.
yeah.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of it for this
Mhm.
episode. Kind of a
Yes.
quick one.
Hmm.
We have to ease ourselves back in. I
Yeah.
mean, let's be real. But we do have a better schedule, so we're
Hmm.
gonna be more consistent.
Yeah. So you guys can obviously find us at Twitter at shoptalkpod_, or email us at shoptalktherookiepodcast@gmail.com with all of your thoughts. And we're on Twitter individually as well. I'm at Carrie Hyman.
And I'm at JStark804.
And obviously we're on TikTok too.
Not
At
very
the Shop
much,
Talk
but yeah.
podcast_. Yeah, we'll try to post more. Okay. We're
Yeah.
working on it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Life
working on
has
it.
been very busy. Like the strike happened, but it was actually kind of like a good thing. I don't know, just because I had a lot going on. So
Yeah, life's just, yeah. We're getting back in the groove heading into
yes.
2024, so
Yeah.
you guys will definitely be hearing from us on a like more consistent basis.
Hmm.
Because we cross our fingers, hopefully our 100th episode will line up with the
Yeah.
rookies. So yeah, and then next week we'll be back with another, I mean, new episode for us, but just
Yeah.
another like appreciation week, this time for Bailey. So
Yeah.
we'll have that to look forward to.
It'll be kind of laid out like this one. We're just
Yeah.
talking about like her highlights.
Mhm.
Also check out or keep an eye on our T Public store because we have some really
Mhm.
cool stuff coming soon.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right.
but yeah, so
Mhm.
that's about it.
Yeah, that's
Our
it for
first
us.
episode back in I don't even know how long.
Like 3 months.
Yeah, but it's fine.
It's fine, because like like a little less than 2 months, we got the rookie premiere, so
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta catch up. Plus, like,
it'll
real
probably
life
fly
has
by.
really been like kicking us. So yeah, it's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
nice to have like an outlet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely been
Yeah.
fun to like, I mean, because we've kept up with content, so it's not like we've been completely
Right.
ghosting
Yeah.
everyone, thankfully. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys have missed us, and we'll look forward to
I've missed
more
you. Like
episodes.
I
No,
was
I've missed
saying
you
before
too.
we
Yeah.
recorded, like we haven't even gotten on Zoom
No,
to
we
like talk.
haven't. Yeah.
Like we've texted, but we've both been so busy anyway.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but
So,
yeah, that's about it. Until next week.
yeah.
Yeah. Bye everyone.
Bye, guys.
Go get him, boo.